This is Reese Talks Wrestling here. Last night at the press conference, amazing. Uh, it's been a really long time since we heard a press conference like that that's been that hype. 2,000 to 3,000 people there live, seeing seeing the magic that happened. Incredible. Let's just jump right into the big stuff because that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about all that because we do have some news that happened today. Wrestlers have been posting. It's just been a crazy night for World Wrestling Entertainment. Let me pull up these tweets right here. So, first thing first, let's talk about the segment that we all saw. So, Roman comes out. For a recap for y'all who don't know, or didn't see, somehow have not been watching. Roman comes out. Well, first Seth comes out. He wants Cody Rhodes to come out, but instead of Cody Rhodes coming out, Roman comes out. They take some shots at each other, and then Roman basically says Cody's time has passed. He can't make the decision anymore, even if he is the Rumble winner, because he's taking too long. So me being the Tribal Chief, I'm going to choose who I want to face at Mania, and that's going to be The Rock. And then The Rock comes out, and the most important thing that I saw before we get to Rhodes was the bloodline. And in all seriousness, there's so much respect that me personally I have, and I'm pretty sure all the fans have, for the Samoan family and them having legacy. Ironic, it's Cody Rhodes, but them having legacy inside the WWE, WWF, WC wrestling industry. Period. We also saw Naomi on that family tree as well. Sure, everything's on the screens right now, but again, phenomenal segment between everybody, between Roman and Seth. The Rock, when he came out, he tried to set up for the finally, but people just weren't having it. Great segments. This is cinema. This is exactly what we wanted to see. It couldn't have got any better. And then when they're in the midst of going through their bloodline and going through their family tree, and they have everything shown up, great. But people are still booing because they want Cody, which is actually almost split. And I like the fact that it's split. I like that. It's like Rock's getting Cena treatment. But Cody interrupts. He calls everything. He says this is complete BS. He says the full thing. And WWE blurred it, WWE beeped it out, and Cody's basically like, look, you don't get to choose who you fight at Mania. He tells Roman, you don't get to choose who you fight at Mania. And then Roman calls him irrelevant, and he's like, I don't get how y'all two are sitting here calling shots and trying to sit at the head of the table. He basically starts going in. Now, this is good from an entertainment standpoint, but logically in the story and the narrative, it doesn't make any sense because he gave Rock the position. So what I hope Cody can do to justify this on SmackDown tonight is that instead of just going on because I'm pretty sure he's scheduled to appear on SmackDown tonight, instead of just going on a rant about how Rock and I think he should feel disrespected of when The Rock said, because when they were going through their family tree, The Rock said that wrestling has only one royal family. And of course, if you know Cody's theme song or whatnot, that it felt like a jab. And I think Cody should explain to The Rock that he didn't mean any disrespect by it, but he felt disrespected basically. And that's a really good way they can push that, so it can logically make sense. Like, hey, I was going to give you the title shot against Roman, but you disrespected me and my family, and you're completely overshadowing us, and that's not going to happen. And because I am the Royal Rumble winner, nah. So, again, great segment. They can make this logically make sense in terms of Cody's decision if they choose to. And then on top of that, after this is all done, after Cody challenges Roman at Mania because he's still a Royal Rumble winner, he gets to choose that. The Rock goes up, he slaps Cody for disrespecting his family, and they have this backstage segment with Triple H. And The Rock and Roman, they're walking off pissed. I mean, the fight breaks out, basically, where they're holding each other back from fighting. And Roman and Rock, they're pissed. They're going to the backstage area. Triple H is doing an interview. And The Rock tells Triple H, "But we need you to fix this. We're not going to have this, but we need you to fix this." And Roman tells Triple H he's lucky that they're there. And what I'm seeing is a Bloodline versus Authority setup, a face authority, kind of like they had back in 2014-15. Was it 2014? 2013, 14, and 15. They can do like a face authority versus a heel blood, because clearly The Rock played into this heel world. I didn't think that he would. I didn't think The Rock would play into being a heel, but he did, and he's doing it very well. So, the questions that we're faced with now is, who does Seth Rollins face at WrestleMania? And I like this question. I was waiting to talk about this question because I was talking to my family. I was like, who is Seth going to face now? And the only logical person I saw besides Cody was Drew McIntyre, and then second to him was Sami Zayn. But Drew posted a video on Twitter, and it's basically him not reacting like, it's played right there and he see it, but he's basically giving his thoughts on what happened at the press conference. Man, Drew McIntyre is doing his job. Drew McIntyre is playing to this heel role very well, and he's doing it so good that it's not like a Roman heel where he's obviously the bad guy, but he's making it seem, he's throwing out logical points on why. It's kind of like how The Rock is doing. He's throwing out logical points on why Rollins is bad for business and why Rollins didn't stand up, how Rollins got pushed. Because in the segment, it did seem like Rollins got pushed to the side. He was going off on Rollins for that. And then he told Cody, "Congrats for finishing the story, but now the World Heavyweight Championship needs some relevancy. I wouldn't let anybody else disrespect my title like that." And I think having Drew McIntyre play this role so well, and we still have so much time till Mania that we can get build up for Drew and Seth. I know Rollins said that he's 100% cleared. I doubt that, right? I think he just thinks that he's fine and he's going to compete anyways. All prayers and love out to him. But right now, Drew McIntyre, and what I see at Mania for Seth Rollins is Drew versus Sami versus Seth. That's what I see. I see a triple threat match for the title. I see Drew McIntyre probably winning. Because I don't want Sami to win, and then Damian Priest cashes in. Or I couldn't see Drew forming some alliance with the Judgment Day, and because as good as Damian Priest is, Judgment Day needs a leader. So they need a definitive leader who has the championship. And I don't know what they could do. I'm saying that because I was thinking like maybe Sami wins, and just as backup, Drew participates, and Damian Priest cashing in, or maybe just completely separate lines. Either way, there's so many ways they can go, and the reason why I'm mentioning stuff like this in fantasy booking like this is because WWE has so many routes, and they proved it last night that they could be going one direction and even have their mind set on one direction, and then maybe an audible is called or fan reactions happen, or maybe they just see how it might not work in the future, and they're able to shift and turn lanes, and it works perfectly, and that's amazing to have a company, a wrestling company that's able to do that. It's great, and that leads me to the next point that I wanted to make in this video is that what does AEW do now? What do these other because now WWE is it's not merging, but they're having these partnerships with TNA, and now you have TNA stars in WWE and whatnot. So what happens to competition like AEW, and how do they recover from that? Now, I'm not an avid AEW watcher, but I do keep up with it time to time. I know Sasha Banks is gonna be she should be returning to Boston, I believe, and AEW's next PLE or pay-per-view. And personally, I don't know what AEW does to compete with this. I don't. And maybe that's just not the goal. Maybe the goal is to just be a successful wrestling company, and that's fine. That's fine. But it just seems to me like WWE is killing the game, and I don't want to diminish AEW, but I also want to put in the front that WWE is killing the game right now, and The Rock truly showed why he's the people's champion, because instead of being filled with ego and taking over this match, he heard what the fans were saying, even though they said Cody Rhodes warned them before. He heard what the fans were saying, and he became heel. And even growing up, I wasn't the biggest Rock fan in terms of his character, but Rock is still debatably on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. He's the people's champ. And he's the people's champ because he listened to the crowd. He knows he has power. Rock has enough power and authority that he could have just been like, you know what? I don't care what they say. Rock versus Roman is happening. But instead, he listens to the people, and now they're able to build up to Rock versus... Because right now, Rock and Roman are on the same page. And another question I have is how do we get to Roman versus Rock? Right? Because... And I keep calling Rock the people's champ because not just because it's a title, but he really proved it. This is going to be years more of the bloodline, and it's fresh. It's something new. It's not like we're getting bored of it. He showed the tree, the family tree, on the screen. It was amazing. I mean, this is lineage. Naomi's back. We still have to figure out some way to get Jimmy and Jay versus each other. There is so many stories that they can tell when it comes to the bloodline that leaves us wanting more. It leaves us wondering. It leaves us thinking. It leaves us having conversations like this right now. And for Rock, even if this was an audible call, for Rock to be sitting back and being like, you know what, let's have Cody have his moment. Because Rock versus Roman does not need the title. It just needs the Tribal Chief title on the line. And that could also tie in a part of Cody being like, I want to take everything away from you. That could. But this is years of lineage. And honestly, I'd be completely fine if Cody just wins the title and he gets put in separate storylines. That's completely fine. After Roman, if he beats Roman, which he should, I don't think we have him win the Rumble twice and then lose. Once he beats Roman, then he can go and fight Randy Orton. They have history with legacy. He could fight just different people that he's... I mean, even face versus face feuds. There's so many ways they can do with Cody Rhodes, but it's so much more they can tell with the bloodline that doesn't need the title. And with Roman's schedule and how he doesn't show up every week, and perhaps it's because of leukemia, perhaps it's because of something very personal going on, health-wise, family-related. This is perfect to set up years, at least another year of building on Rock versus Roman, especially with The Rock being involved with TKO. It puts authority, and then we can eventually come back and do what they originally had in mind, but Vince was around, which was having Roman as a face. And right now, it's going to be a lot easier to make Rock a face even after what happened last night, than to make Roman a face. So I think we keep having the bloodline stuff come up, and then after that we have Rock versus Roman. We start building up. I think Roman loses, and then The Rock kind of looks at Roman like, are you really cut out for this? Are you really able to carry the lineage of the family without us being there 24/7? I think that's a genuine these are genuine questions that The Rock and Solo and Jimmy and Jay can have, and it can lead into Rock versus Roman. And again, WWE can go so many different ways with this. They can. It's so good. It's so good right now. I mean, wrestling is just, it's having a renaissance. So I don't know. I don't know specifically, of course, what they're gonna do, but all I know is that it's gonna be good. We're all staying tuned. This has us back in. It has us talking. We're not spamming hashtag we want Cody. We're not spamming hashtag we want Rocky. We're trying to figure out what happens next. And I do believe this was still an Audible card. Great Audible. Honestly, I was listening to one of my favorite YouTubers today, part of In the Clutch, and he was even speaking about how I wish Vince McMahon would have called audibles. And that's so right. Vince McMahon should have called, when he was in charge, should have called a lot of audibles. And he kind of did with Daniel Bryan situation. But that took, months of complaining. Even with Kofi Kingston. The way he lost to Brock shouldn't have happened. So now that we know that we have a company that is starting to listen to their fans more. That's what we need. That's what wrestling needs. And they're listening to their fans in a way where they're not just doing exactly what the fans tell them to do, but they're swerving us off. They're playing into it. They're working us. And that's fine. That's great. That's wrestling. That's part of entertainment. So let me know what y'all think about The Rock, the Bloodline, basically, versus this face authority. Let me know what y'all think about Cody versus Roman. If y'all have Cody, there's people who genuinely don't think Cody Rhodes will win against Roman. I don't see why they have a back-to-back Royal Rumble winner and then they call this audible to have Cody lose. So yeah, I got Cody versus Roman. I got Cody versus Roman. Let me know what y'all think about The Rock being back. And it is kind of weird if we do like a face authority, because Rock is technically on the board, which Seth Rollins mentioned. It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on right now in wrestling. Again, wait for SmackDown on Sunday. You can catch me on our weekend recap. Exciting. WWE is so good again. We're in a wrestling renaissance. That's all I got for y'all today. Make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, and go check out a different video. There's different takes that I have. There's more takes coming, so be subscribed, be notified for the next video. I'll see y'all when that happens. It's been Resox Wrestling. Ooh, stutter right there.